So my name is Iñaki Naula. I'm gonna talk about Christianization in medieval England. Um, First, I'm gonna talk about the pre-Roman Britain. Um, these islands, were inhabited by pagan tribes. These tribes were a lot, and they were all polytheistic. This means they believed in a variety of gods, and basically they believed in the religion was based in supernatural and nature gods. We can see gods like moon, the sun, the stars. Those were the elements that those were related to. Um, they worship gods in places like lakes, rivers, cliffs, and the religious practices often involve the ritual slaughter of animals for the deposition of metalwork. And we can see this because this chain we're seeing in the slide was found in the Lyn Cerrig Bash, a small lake located between Rosnigger and Bali in the west of Anglesey, Wales. This was a slave chain. Um, Cyril Fox, a renowned archaeologist, argued that the chain was evidence of human sacrifice by druids, some kind of authority in these primitive tribes. Um, and yeah, they were basically very primitive, wild, and savage, and probably violent tribes or societies, as seen in Tacitus, who writes that the Roman army, when they try to expand their power over, basically when they try to conquer these islands, uh, found like very wild uh, humans. Um, okay, after this, we go to the Roman Britain. The first try to get to these lands by the Roman Empire was by Julius Caesar in 55, before the Common Era. He failed, and but they still had like trading relations. So merchants basically brought some of the little knowledge about Jesus around the 50 after Christ. So basically, these tribes were introduced to Christianity. This was very, very weak. So basically, these people, for example, the Britons, couldn't absorb this religion, as they couldn't adopt it as their religion. By this time, we can find Saint Patrick. Um, Saint Patrick was born in Great Britain, and he was kidnapped and taken to Ireland. Um, he was taken prisoner by a group of Irishmen. According to his writing in the Confession, this autobiography he wrote, he said he heard a voice that he had to escape from Ireland. He said he wrote that this voice was God's voice. So he managed to escape. And later, in a second dream, he heard the voice of an angel that he had to come back to Ireland uh, to begin his journey as a priest, as a religious man to spread Christianity. Um, he began his religious training, a course of study that lasted more than 15 years. He's credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland and was probably responsible of in part of the Christianization of the Picts, which were one of the tribe, and the Anglo-Saxons later. Here we can see the beginning of his work, the Confession, and we can see um, a work of art here of Saint Patrick writing his biography. Okay. After this, with the Western Roman Empire collapse, Roman troops withdrew from Britain, leaving it vulnerable to the conquest by the Anglo-Saxons. These people, these societies, these tribes came from the continent, and they settled in the east part of England. Um, they basically displaced the Romano-British population to the west or back to the continental part. The Frisians, Saxon, Angles, and Jutes were all closely related tribes with very similar language and cultures. So it will result later in the creation of this Anglo-Saxon English language. Um, we can see the Saxons established basically in the south, and the English Angles mostly in the middle of England. This migration led to a significant cultural transformation. The Germanic tribes brought with their own language, the customs and social structures, as well as their religion. They were pagan. Um, they established several separate kingdoms across Britain. This included kingdoms such as Northumbria in the north, Mercia in the middle part of the territory, Mercia, Wessex, and East Anglia. The Anglo-Saxons were polytheistic, and these gods had developed from the same origin as the Vikings. So this means that most of their beliefs will be shared with the Vikings. They will have very similar gods. The arrival of the Anglo-Saxons in Britain seems to have almost wiped out Christianity, which wasn't really strongly settled in these people, by the way. In the 1950s, Pope Gregory developed a plan to convert the Anglo-Saxons. Gregory sent a monk named Augustine to Kent in the south east part, um, which was its king was Ethelbert, who was married with Bertha, a Christian woman from Francia. She was Christian, so this means that this was the door. The door was open for him to get into this pagan kingdom, because Ethelbert was Anglo-Saxon. He was pagan too, which he later will be converted to Christianism. He was at the time practitioner of the Anglo-Saxon traditional Germanic religion. A Northumbrian monk Bede wrote about the first interaction of the king and the clergyman in his ecclesiastical history of the English Pope. Later, by the 1600s, Pope Gregory sent two more, actually, a group of priests to spread even more this the religion, this Christianity. So he sent Mellitus, who's gonna go to Sussex, close to Kent, and Paulinus, who's gonna go to the northern part, which is Northumbria. Augustine converted King Ethelbert to Christianity and established a church at Canterbury, from which he began to convert the people of Kent. That was a huge thing before Paulinus and Mellitus got there. Among the new missionaries were two men called Mellitus and Paulinus. The last one, an Italian missionary who converted Northumbria to Christianity and later became the first bishop of York. Here we can see in the middle Paulinus. This is a church, and he is portrayed as the first bishop of York. And yeah, Paulinus was sent with Ethelbert's daughter, where she married King Edwin of Northumbria. King Edwin will be a very important supporter uh, of this Christianization movement. Um, Paulinus eventually converted Edwin to Christianity, beginning the conversion of Northumbria. The death of King Ethelbert in 616 meant the Gregorian mission lost its stronger supporter. Ethelbert's son Abel was initially hostile to Christianity, so that support got cut off. And also the sons of Silver of Essex, which was Melito's person to convert, his sons weren't huge supporters of Christianity. So that means this whole movement got cut off. So Edwin was killed in a battle by the pagan king Cadwallon, and his kingdom was thrown into chaos. And without the support of secular rulers as Ethelbert, Edwin, and Sussex kings, Christianity began to dwindle in Kent, Essex, and Northumbria, and the Gregorian mission was on the verge of failure. The consolidation of Christianity will come a few years later with basically Oswald. This Oswald was the son of Ethelfrid of Arnicia and Eka of Dera. These two territories were in the north of Britain. Um, he came to rule after spending a period of exile in Ireland. Um, Oswald brought the two Northumbrian kingdoms of Arnicia and Dera once again under a single ruler and promoted the spread of Christianity in Northumbria. He was a very powerful king. um, he was given a strongly positive assessment by the historian Bede, writing a little less than a century after Oswald's death, who regarded Oswald as a saintly king. He was named saint a few centuries later. He said about reviving Paulinus' unsuccessful nation. Um, this means although Edwin had previously converted to Christianity in 627, it was Oswald who did the most to spread the religion in Northumbria. Shortly after becoming a king, he asked the Irish Dal Riata to send a bishop to facilitate the conversion of his people. This is when Aidan came into the scene. Aidan proposed a gentle approach, and Oswald gave the island of Lindisfarne to Aidan as his episcopal see. Aidan achieved a great success in spreading the Christian faith, and did mention that Oswald acted as Aidan interpreter, because he said Aidan didn't know English very well. Aidan was a monk at Iona, an island of the Inner Hebrides in Scotland, when King Oswald of Northumbria requested that he be made bishop of the newly converted Northumbrians. That's when he gave him his island in Lindisfarne, which later will be called the Holy Island, and it's where this statue of Saint Aidan is right now. Aidan settled in Lindisfarne, where he established his church, monastery, and see near the royal stronghold of Bamberg. Under his direction and that of his successors, Lindisfarne flourished as a leading ecclesiastical center. From Lindisfarne, Aidan evangelized northern England. He founded churches, monasteries, and a school for the training of ministers. That's how basically this Christianity consolidated in England.